Let's give it up for the organizers of the March for Black Women Houston. Yeah, they deserve it. And then I want to say that Janori's dream matters. Can we say that? Janori's dream matters. That dream matters. As an educator, as a parent, I took a little time working through what I'd say and what I'd share on this morning. But I believe for me, as a current educator who's teaching second grade in the classroom of a Title I school where 70% of our students are low to no income and fall below the poverty line, every day I see Black and brown boys and girls walk into my classroom, and I'm tasked with the responsibility of hugging them a little bit tighter, right? I'm tasked with the responsibility of looking into their eyes and having conversations about what happened the night before. I'm tasked with the responsibility of when the doors are closed and I am the only representation at the table, that I am willing to be unpopular and unliked for the sake of our Black and brown boys and girls. So my conversation today is to Black mamas. Can we do that? Can we do that? Yeah. See, I'm a Black mama, y'all, and I'm a Black single mama, okay? And I can remember about 7 years ago when I decided to change the trajectory of my future and do what was necessary to make sure that my daughter lived a different life. I walked away from my job, and I went to school full time, and I found myself in spaces and places where I couldn't quite show up, right? Black mamas, yeah. I couldn't quite show up at school on those mornings when they had muffins with mom. I couldn't quite show up at school on those evenings when they were having open house. I couldn't quite show up, and I was deemed absentee. And I was deemed that I wasn't a present mom. And for me, for a long time, I struggled, right? With that conversation of what happens when you're working to change the trajectory of your future and you can't quite show up, and then people say you're absent. So my conversation to every Black woman that stands in this audience today is your representation matters, right? When a mama like Jotina can't show up, Black mamas, we have to find a way to fill the halls of schools. We have to find a way to be mentors. We have to find a way to come into these classrooms and read, whether your kids are in college, whether you we have to find a way, right? If you don't have children at all, you're still a Black mama. You're still a Black mama, and we have a responsibility to do what's necessary to solve these inequities in schools. And I believe that it starts with literacy. I believe that it starts with the conversation of the power that I know each of us have innately in us. I believe it starts with the conversation of knowing in your heart of hearts that when you have to work 3 jobs and your kids have to get up in the morning and sometimes send themselves to school, that you still are enough and you still have that power. And there is something that happens when we come together with our collective presence to show up for each other. Black mamas, we have to show up for each other. And not only that, we have to show up for our children. We have to stop allowing them to hand our children shit on a plate. Yeah? And just say you have to accept it. No, the hell we don't. I know I'm a damn good teacher. And people have asked me over and over again, Miss Buck, why aren't you Teacher of the Year? I'll probably never be Teacher of the Year because I'm always willing to use my voice. I'm always willing to speak up when I'm the only one in the room. I'm always willing to say, oh no, not today, not on my watch, not in this room, at this table, for this Black boy whose mama is out there working. I'ma be mama today. Yeah? So we have a responsibility, Black mamas. Allies, you have a responsibility. When there isn't any representation in the room, your voice matters. When there isn't anyone sitting at the table that's Black or brown and look like me and her that's standing next to you, you have a responsibility to stand up and to speak up. That's necessary, you all. I believe that we have the power to close the gap, right? I believe that we have the power to solve the inequities in schools. I believe we have it. But let's start showing up at the PTA, PTO meetings. Let's find ourselves in these board meetings. Let's find ourselves voting and ensuring that the right people are on these boards to make decisions for our children. Listen, I may never be teacher of the year, but I'm damn sure I'll be Black Mama of the Year every year.